It's really nice to have one stakeholder with as much information as you could possibly want, an encyclopedia for you to dig through to find the content to create the course or the thing, what they want. Does that happen often? I'd say less than half. I've had like a committee of 20 odd people on the sign off, and it was difficult to manage. I had the previous material, but no other context. Everything else I had to dig, and it actually cost the company so much more money because I was having to manage it so much more, and there was everything was taking so much longer because I was having to chase 20 people.
It's a really important message. I think not only that L&D, need to be involved in the conversations early, but honestly, I think L&D should be leading them. I think at a real L&D leadership level, you should be telling the business where the business is going and how you're going to be supporting it and making sure that, it gets where it needs to go. I think if you understand what's coming down the line. So you know the headwinds and tailwinds, all the kind of macro level influences like climate change, aging populations, economic uncertainty. I'm sure we can all relate to some of these. If you know about those and you understand how they're going to impact your organization, then you can get ahead of the game and you can prepare the business.
You have to be involved in the conversations early on. But too often that has been seen as the starting point for showing this. For me, being involved in the conversations early on, when I look at organizations that are doing this successfully, is a byproduct of other things that is happening at L&D, in particular building relationships, building networks, and establishing a common communication, which means that naturally, of course, you're invited in. So you're not trying to get into the conversation, it's just assumed you're going to be there.
I'd say I had a lot less power when I was employed. There were a lot more barriers to the decision makers. So I was, a designer, a deliverer, and if I wanted to change something, if I wanted to push something through, I would have to go to my manager, who would then go to the area partner, and then it'd get to the head. And it's when you're a freelancer, you're usually talking to the head of or the manager of that area. So if you have ideas about something, or if you want to implement something, if you want to have a conversation about budget and say, look, actually, this is your budget, you can do this. So having that conversation with someone straight away, rather than having to do it through committee, is really important, no matter whether you are internal or external. Just having that direct line cuts out so much red tape, and it just makes the whole process smoother and more fun, because you can just crack on rather than just faffing with meetings and trying to get things seen.
Ultimately, we want those conversations because we want them to buy into our ideas rather than us being genuinely curious about what's important to our stakeholders and genuinely curious about what's driving us in our profession. So for me, there was, that sense of conversation. That to me, I think is very powerful, particularly if we can be genuinely honest about where we are in the profession.